Hello, boys and girls. It's Mrs. DeCroce to talk to you more about severe weather. Today, we're going to talk about two types of weather. We're going to talk about snow, and then the other side of snow, that is the severe part, which is a blizzard. And we live in Colorado. We get snow. We can get snow as early as September and as late as May. My family, my dad's side of the family, grew up in a place called Leadville, which is actually one of the highest points in the whole United States. And we went to a wedding a few years ago, and it snowed in June. It was the end of June. It was almost the 4th of July, and it was snowing. We made a little snowman. So, depending where you live, you could see snow in the summertime. But in Colorado, we could get snow pretty much September to May because we live right next to the Rocky Mountains. So, blizzards right here. It's kind of hard to see because blizzards are filled with snow and snow is white. Okay, so I'm going to move this so you can see it. There's a picture. There's actually a house here. It's kind of hard to tell. Over here, picture of a car, and then this is an old picture. You can tell from the car being used how much snow there is. That's how high the snow is. So we're going to talk a little bit about what is snow, and then also what is a blizzard and what changes it from just being a snowstorm into an actual blizzard. So we're going to start with Mystery Doug teaching us about snow. Here we go.
Hi, it's Doug. Do you get snow where you live? We get is up in the mountains. But you can buy this stuff. It's fake snow. It's what they use in movies when they don't have real snow around. And it looks pretty real. Someone in Hudaifa has a question about snow. Let's give him a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Hudaifa.
I have a question for you. Why is snow white?
That's a great question. Snow is really white, isn't it? You know, it's actually surprising that snow has a color at all. After all, snow is made of water. Water is totally clear. You can see right through it. So if snow is made of water, why does it look white? Do you have any ideas? Now would be a good time to pause the video and discuss. Okay, you ready? Well, you might know that each piece of snow, each snowflake, is a tiny piece of ice. Snow is made of water that's frozen. Maybe that has something to do with it. Ice can look white sometimes, right? But ice can also be clear, just like a glass of water. It would be helpful if we could get a closer look at a snowflake. This person is taking a snowflake and putting it under a microscope. That way she can see what it looks like close up. Check it out. Look at that. This is what a snowflake looks like close up. Wow. Now you can see a snowflake is mostly clear. You can see right through it, just like a glass of water or a clear piece of ice. But is the entire snowflake clear? Do you see any parts that don't look clear? Like, notice here, here, here. These parts look more white, don't they? What is it about these parts that makes them look white? Well, if we could turn a snowflake on its side like this, we would see that a snowflake isn't completely flat. It has bumps or edges all over it. Notice how the white parts of the snowflake are the parts that have those edges or bumps. But still, a snowflake is mostly clear. So why would snow look white? I mean, why doesn't snow look clear? Well, keep in mind, when you're looking at a bunch of snow like this, you're looking at lots and lots of snowflakes all piling up. That means you're looking at a lot more of those edges. We can see the same thing with other clear materials, like this piece of glass. This is a helpful way to think about it. Just like a snowflake, this piece of glass is mostly clear. You can see through it. But notice how some of the edges look white? Well, now, watch what happens as we pile up more and more pieces of glass on top of each other, just like snowflakes piling up. I'll speed things up a bit here. You see that? Look, it's starting to look a lot more white. This explains why a single snowflake looks mostly clear, but snow itself, which is made of lots of snowflakes, doesn't look clear anymore. It looks white. But why do the edges of each snowflake look white? Why not some other color? Well, what if I told you that snow isn't always white? Take a look at the snow here. What color would you say it is? It doesn't look white anymore. I would say it looks pink. And that's because you've got the pink light of the sunset shining on it. Or check this out. Here, the snow looks orange from the orange light of these street lamps. The edges of each snowflake aren't always white. It depends on the color of the light that's shining on them. So why is snow white? Where is there white light that's shining on snow? It's right here, the sun. Sunlight is usually white, at least in the middle of the daytime. Now, I know you might think of sunlight as being yellow. Like maybe when you draw a picture, you color the sun yellow. But in real life, have a look at this. When the sun is high in the sky during the day, you see it's actually more white than it is yellow. So in summary, snowflakes are mostly clear, except for their bumps or edges. It's at the edges where it looks more white. When we're looking at snow, we're seeing lots of snowflakes all piled together, so we're seeing all those edges. The reason the edges of each snowflake look white has to do with the color of the sunlight. Sunlight looks white when it's the middle of the day. So snow is white because the sun is white. But if the sun were blue or purple, then snow would look blue or purple too. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Hudaifa, for asking it. Now, we have...
All right, boys and girls. So now let's talk about blizzards. So that's more about snow, and blizzards are full of snow. All right. So in 1888, so over 40 years ago, a blizzard hit New York. The storm lasted for 3 days and it caused a lot of harm. So you can see back in 1888, there wasn't cars. So you can see horses and carriages, and you can see lots and lots of snow in these things. Here's a picture of somebody walking their dog. So the United States has many blizzards. There has to be 3 things to make something a blizzard. There has to have strong winds, there has to be blinding snow, and freezing cold. So what that means is the snow has to be continuous. That wind has to be continuous, and so you can't have visibility is what they mean by that. So when you go walk outside, you can look and see for miles. You can see houses way down the street. You can see, if you're on top of a hill, you can see really far. But during a storm, you wouldn't have that visibility. And that's what that means, because that's when dangerous conditions could exist. So a blizzard starts when there is moist, warm air that meets cold air. So you have warm, wet air and cold air. The clouds form and the water inside freezes to snow because it's wet. Okay, it's moist. You have wet, warm air and cold air. It freezes into the snow. The winds whip the snow through the air and it becomes hard to see. You wouldn't be able to drive. They do blizzard warnings, just like we talked about with tornado warnings and hurricanes. They do blizzard warnings. We have winter storm warnings. And again, this is something the National Weather Service meteorologists can predict that is going to happen. That way you know to go to the store to get food. School is usually canceled, and that you are able to stay home and to stay safe, because it would be unsafe. The winds are also super cold, because if it's snowing, it's less than 32 degrees. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is when water freezes. Okay, 32 degrees. 32. Did you get it? 32 degrees. So that's what water needs to turn into ice. Now, when it's ice out there, that wind makes everything colder. And I know if you've gone outside and it's not windy, it doesn't feel cold. The minute that wind hits, we start feeling colder. And that is something that they call wind chill. Now, meteorologists also use this in their daily forecast. If it's going to be windy, they'll tell you 2 things. They'll tell you what the temperature is for the day. So they might say it's going to be 20 degrees. But then they're going to tell you the wind chill. They might say with the wind chill, it's actually 12 degrees, because they're predicting there's going to be some wind, maybe not blizzard wind that will make it colder outside. Wind chill makes the body lose heat faster and your skin can freeze. Blizzards can happen anywhere there is snow. The east coast of the United States is one such place, up by New York, Maine, in that area. Storms sometimes move up from the south. When they do, they may run into the cold air moving down from Canada. Above Canada is where we have the North Pole. Lots of cold air is coming down to try to make its way to the equator in the middle of the earth, and they make lots of snow. Down here, Florida. If you've ever been to Florida, it's warm. It's warm in December. It's warm all the time. So you have that warm, wet air from the ocean coming up. Canada's bringing down some cold air. They meet, we get snow. Another types of storms come from the west. These storms move fast, they bring strong winds, freezing cold, but not a lot of snow. And again, we get a lot of storms from the west, being in Colorado. So long ago, again, we talked about people were surprised by storms, but now we know when blizzards are going to strike. And that way we know to go to the store, get food, make sure you will be safe, and then you go home and wait. The best place to be in a blizzard is inside your house because the wind is strong and there could be a lot of snow. Sometimes blizzards don't have like a foot of snow, but they just have the blizzard conditions where it's super windy, you can't see, and that's what makes them dangerous. And it could cover cars, and then people have to shovel their way out. So what I'm going to have you do real fast is to go ahead and look at your types of weather book. We've done tornadoes, hurricanes. Here we go with blizzards. So here's a picture. You could see, again, the wind in the pictures. The trees are falling to the side from the wind. And it says, blizzards can bury things in snow like a car. Let's do it again. Blizzards can bury things in snow like a car. There is just so much snow that it just gets covered, and then you have to dig your way out. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed today's science lesson. We will meet again. We've got 2 more days to talk about severe weather, and then you get to be the meteorologist.